Hi, today's Wednesday, May 13th, and the devotion this day is based on Psalm 66, beginning at the 8th verse. Bless our God, O peoples, let the sound of his praise be heard, who has kept us among the living and has not let our feet slip. For you, O God, have tested us. You have tried us as silver is tried. You have brought us into the net. You laid burdens on our backs. You let people ride over our heads. We went through fire and water, yet you have brought us out to a spacious place. I will come into your house with burnt offerings. I will pay you my vows, those that my lips uttered and my mouth promised when I was in trouble. I will offer to you burnt offerings of fatlings with the smoke of the sacrifice of rams. I will make an offering of bulls and goats. Come and hear, all you who fear God, and I will tell what he has done for me. I cried aloud to him, and he was extolled with my tongue. If I had cherished iniquity in my heart, the Lord would not have listened. But truly God has listened. He has given heed to the words of my prayer. Blessed be God, because he has not rejected my prayer or removed his steadfast love from me. Here ends the reading. Thanks be to God. The devotion is written by Heidi Highland Mann. Some have asserted that the pandemic is God testing or punishing people. The psalmist seems to have followed the same line of logic about another crisis. You, O God, have tested us. You have tried us. You have brought us into the neck. You laid burdens on our backs. But some of Scripture reflects people's attempts to understand God more than their correct grasp of God. Elsewhere in the Bible, God assures us that God doesn't impose burdens on us, but rather relieves them. For instance, the burden of fear in Isaiah 41, the burden of weariness in Matthew, the burden of earning salvation in Ephesians chapter 2, the burden of death has the last word in Revelation 21. And Lamentations chapter 3 verse 33 says, God does not willingly afflict or grieve anyone. All of us go forward and back in our faith, sometimes even sideways or in circles. While the psalmist misunderstands God in some ways, at the end, at least, he gets it right. Blessed be God, because God has not rejected my prayer or removed his steadfast love from me. Whatever you face today, illness, grief, lost work or overwork, anxiety, loneliness, something completely unrelated to the coronavirus pandemic, God hears your prayers and wraps you up in love. And I would add to her devotion that when we're forced to endure trial, turmoil, stress, or distress, it's easy to lose sight of God's promises. When we're struggling, it can feel like God is far from us, like God has left us on our own to fend for ourselves. But regardless of how we may feel from day to day, even from moment to moment, God is here with you. God's promises are here for you. God's presence is here upholding you. God's steadfast love is here surrounding you. God hears your prayers and accompanies you through the ups and downs of each day. Unfortunately, God's promises don't depend on how close we may or may not feel to God. And that's the good news about our faith and about God's promises. God's promises and our faith hinge on God, on God's faithfulness, on God's promises, on God's unending, unfailing, unwavering love for each of us. Amen.